Good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, more likely than not that you're the person who's committed that crime. Of course, if you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. This afternoon we'll set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, a warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of a public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know, and we'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And now I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Do all solemnly swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Brittany Brunner.
Judge, we had previously had a plea lined up for her. I haven't received any email back from this young man.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Well, she's charged with 3 counts of resisting and 1 count of disorderly. What we had talked about, since it was one instance, was 1 count of resisting, 1 count of disorderly. But the court can't do that without the state's announcement.
Justice doesn't have any knowledge.
I don't have that. Well, and obviously there's also a new charge now that wasn't contemplated in any agreement previously.
There's the false name.
Right. Okay. So, Brittany, you're here on 2 issues this morning. One is a new charge of false name to law enforcement officer. The other is a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. Apparently, you failed to appear in her court last month on 3 counts of resisting, 1 count of disorderly conduct. Apparently, you had the public defender on those cases. Would you like to stay with the public defender?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, as to Judge Rupi's warrant, I'm going to leave the bonds per the warrant, which is $2,000 on each of the 4 counts for a total of 8. That'll be back in front of her on the 4th of January. I'm sure if they get your case worked out, they can get you in front of her sooner if that's how it's going to go. On the false name, then, I will leave the bond at $1,000, so that brings your total all the way around to 9. All of those cases coming back on January 4th. The public defender comes to you very soon, I imagine. Seems like you're close to getting them resolved. So January 4th is the latest, probably sooner, okay? Thank you. Najee Maura, sorry. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
09/25/97.
I have a warrant this morning signed by Judge Gaglione. He found probable cause for 2 counts. One is attempted robbery with a firearm. The other is burglary of an occupied conveyance. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Yes, I actually want a public defender to see if I can get either house arrest or probation.
Okay, well, that'll be down the road, so I'll appoint the public defender. State what you tell me.
She actually doesn't have any history. She picked a heck of a way to start.
Yep. All right. And, young lady, I've got an address for you on Gonzales Mora Lane in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
I want to say since I was in 11th grade.
Okay. How many years ago was that?
Probably about 4 to 5.
Okay. You have a job these days?
No, because I actually have to take care of my grandma because like she got diagnosed with something, so like she's not very strong, so I have to take care of her. That's why I don't have a job.
Okay. Well, I certainly appreciate that that she doesn't have any record, but the allegations are extraordinary.
Yep.
So I'm going to leave the bonds per the warrant, which is $50,000 on the attempted armed robbery and $25 on the burglary. That's a total of $75, with the condition that you have no contact with the alleged victim. I'll have you back in court on the 4th of January. If you can't get out, PD will come see you and see if they can arrange that.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is there any way that my bond can get lower?
Not today. Not today. Sir, what's your name? And who are you? Come forward, don't yell at us. Come on.
What's your date? Please give it back.
4th of January.
What do you want to tell me, sir?
My name is Nathaniel Marr. That's my daughter.
Right?
There's no way we can afford that high bail. My daughter is, although she's 21, she's very mature, and she's never been in no trouble. I never been in any trouble. Mom never been in trouble. This is something that just happened, and I don't even have no information. So I'm asking for leniency.
Well, the leniency will come from whatever judge she gets in front of, where they will sort this out. But are you familiar with the facts of the arrest warrant?
No, sir.
It involves a shotgun and another gun being placed to the head of the victim. She was involved in that. That's extraordinary conduct. Okay, don't say young lady. Don't say a word, okay? Because you have an absolute right to remain silent, and these are facts for which you must remain silent until you're speaking privately to your lawyer, okay? Because the downside of this is decades in prison, decades, okay? For someone your age, that's a long haul. So you have to remain quiet. So, sir, part of my bond decision has to be considering potential danger to the community. You can see where it's shocking to us to see somebody like this, apparently no history, no record, no nothing. My guess is, once she starts talking to her lawyer and they start digging into it a little deeper, there may be a way to get the bond reduced significantly by the judge that she's appearing in front of. But at first appearance, I feel that I'm duty bound to leave it where it is because of the very, very serious nature of the charges. You'll want to work with her when talking with the lawyer, because there are surely things that the lawyer is going to want to do with this case that will be very helpful to her. But I can't help you today, unfortunately, all right? I'm not unsensitive to your plight. Like I say, I don't want to get into it too much, but I think there are ways that she'll be able to help herself, and you'll all be able to help her too, but she's got to go through the lawyer for that, all right? Okay. Sorry, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. She'll be back, I think, January 4th. If you can't get out, the public defender is going to come see you and start working on getting a better resolution, all right? Thank you. Jennifer Rodriguez. Jennifer, what's your date of birth?
February 17th, 1976.
Jennifer, the charge is possession of methamphetamine. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
Appoint the PD, Steve.
The only thing she has is a shoplifting charge from way back in 1992.
Jennifer, I got an address for you on Parkside Court here in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Spring Hill.
Okay. How long you been there?
Parkside, a year. I've been in Spring Hill for well, not.
Okay. You got a job these days?
I'm on disability.
Set your bond at $1,000. We'll have you back in court on the 4th of January. If you get out, very important that you go see the public defender, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Sherilyn Van Blarkum. Morning, young lady. What's your date of birth?
October 1372.
You are here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on a charge of felony petty theft last month. Did you have the public defender on that charge?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to
I have
continue?
state wrong.
Hang on a sec. Would you like to continue with the public defender?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't want to get into what happened as far as the failing to appear goes. Well, this is just how we get you back on the docket. Judge Merritt set your bond at $5,000. I'm not going to change that. I will change the date. I'll send you back to see him on the 26th of December, and the PD will come see you before then, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Michael Cunningham.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Michael. What's your date of birth?
8364.
Michael, I have two charges this morning. Possession of controlled substance, false name to a law enforcement officer. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
Appoint the PD. State what you tell.
2017 possession of paraphernalia, 2 failures to appear in 2018 that were separate incidents, and a back in 1993 grand theft times 2 and dealing in stolen property.
Michael, I have an address for you on Lynn Haven Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
17 years.
Do you have a job these days?
No, disability.
Set your bond at $1,000 on each charge. That's a total of $2,000. You'll be back in court on January 4th. If you get out, it's very important that you contact the public defender, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Emmanuel Figueroa. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
April 15, 1987.
All right. I have two issues. First, I have probable cause arrest for a felony battery, and it appears you're also currently on felony probation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So there's a probable cause arrest for the VOP. As to those charges, there is probable cause. You want to represent yourself and hire a private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
Appoint the PD. State what he's telling me.
2018 fleeing case, 2018 DUI, 2018 resisting without, 2018 DUI a separate one, 2018 DWSR, 2015 armed trespassing, 2009 DUI, 2008 marijuana, and 2006 petty theft.
So here's what we're going to do, Emmanuel. Obviously on the VOP, the bond is going to be no bond, so you can't get out because of the violation of probation enforcement. That case I'll have back on the 26th of December, okay? And the public defender is going to come see you before that. On the battery case, the felony battery case, I'm going to leave the bond for the schedule, which is the $2,000. Of course, you can't bond out because of the VOP. In addition to that bond, would be that you have no contact with Pablo Seda. What that's going to mean for you is you cannot call or write to Mr. Seda from the jail. If you did that, it could constitute a new crime. It could also constitute contempt of court, so no calling or writing Mr. Seda from the jail. The battery case will also come back on the 26th of December, so both cases coming back on the same day. Public defender will come see you before then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No, she didn't know what I was talking about. No, I said you guys will just handle it next week. She's got to go. She might as well.
Vincent Rosica.
That'll make it easy to resolve.
Morning, Vincent. What's your date of birth?
1870.
Vincent, this is probable cause arrest for 2 counts of violation of probation. There is probable cause for the VOP. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I do the public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. The bond in each case will be no bond. I'll have you back in front of Judge Merritt on the 26th of December, and the PD will come see you before then, okay?
Okay, yes, I'm going to ask if I could be reinstated because just there's a mix-up on where I could live. Sir, please do confess.
So you don't want to talk about those things just now. Wait until you're talking to your lawyer, okay?
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Derek Kajowski. Morning, Derek. What's your date of birth?
10/08/1993, Your Honor.
Derek, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupi. You found probable cause for 2 counts witness intimidation, and battery being domestic in nature. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, Your Honor.
Appoint the PD, state.
He's a 2015 marijuana and paraphernalia case. There was a failure to appear on that case in 2015.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. And Derek, I have an address for you on Cyclops Drive. Is that where you're living these days?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long have you been there? I don't know that drive.
Since I moved down from D.C. 8 months ago.
Okay. And you have a job these days?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I do carpentry.
I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 on each count. That's a total of $2,000. Condition of the bonds is that you're going to have no contact with William Lewis. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact him through any social media, you don't go in. Hey! Did you notice I was talking?
Sorry.
It's pretty common human decency, right? If I'm talking, you're listening. When you're talking, I'm listening. You're familiar with that concept, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. When I get done, I'll say, do you have any questions? And then you can say any fool thing you want to say, okay? Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
There you go. Don't contact him through any social media. You don't go where he lives. You don't go where he works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He might go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. He may tell them he's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. I'll have you back in court on the 4th of January. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out. Do you have any questions, Derek?
No, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you. William Nichols? Morning, Mr. Nichols. What's your date of birth?
8/12/81.
The charge this morning, William, is a burglary of a construction site. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Your Honor, as much as it makes me happy to see you here in court today, if you had been here for the rest of the week with Judge Ruby, you would have been familiar with Mr. Nichols by now. He's been picked up on, they've loaded him up on charges.
The PC would seem to suggest that we're...
Yeah, I don't know how many open cases there are at this point, but we've been pretty much just leaving all the bonds the same.
Okay, and are they on the 4th of January? Or
I believe they're all for the 4th of January. Your Honor.
Very good. So, William, we'll just set this one at $5,000, add it to all your other cases that are on for the 4th of January. If you can't get out, the PD is going to come see you, okay? Thank you. Alfonso Osuna Garcia. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
100.
Alfonso, you have 2 charges today, driving under the influence and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire a private counsel, would you like a public defender? I'll appoint the PD, state.
I show no history, Your Honor.
Alfonso, I have an address for you on Forbes Street in Nobleton. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
Since 05.
Do you have a job these days?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Concrete.
I'll set your bond at $500 on each count. We'll have you back in court. That's a total of $1,000. Have you back in court on January 4th. If you get out, it's very important that you contact the PD's office right away, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Scott Pike. Morning, Mr. Pike. What's your date of birth?
Your Honor, 1281.
Charge is possession of marijuana. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, Scott, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Go with the public defender.
Very good. I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
As far as history, there's 2000 DLSR, 2000 marijuana, 2003 carrying concealed weapon, 2003 DUI. His real issue is that he was currently enrolled in drug offender PTI in front of Judge Toner on case number 2018 CF 1860, which was a possession of controlled substance.
Okay. And I assume we'll get a return.
I would assume he's probably looking at being removed from PTI and coming back to the docket.
Okay. Scott, where you been staying lately?
104 Parkside Court.
All right. And you have a job?
Yes, sir. I'm line cook at Circus Barbecue.
I'm going to leave the bond at $1,000, Scott. This one will be back on the 4th of January. Obviously, you're duty bound to report this arrest to whoever is supervising you on the PTI, and of course, it's quite likely that they'll return you to court for your PTI, but that's not happening today. I'm just telling you that's what's going to happen. Okay? Thank you. Jose Plaza? Wow.
Over there watching videos.
Mike, take this stuff out.
Mr. Plaza, what's your date of birth?
1979.
The charge this morning is possession of methamphetamine. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Locally, only a 2012 no valid DL and no motorcycle endorsement charge. He has a 2009 theft charge from Pennsylvania.
And Jose, I have an address for you on Parkside Court. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
Like 2 years.
You have a job these days?
Yes. I'm a technician.
Where do you do that?
I'm a mobile technician. I do that one now.
Okay. I'll set your bond to $1,000. I'll have you back on the 4th of January. Make sure you contact the public defender when you get out, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. John Prout. Afternoon, John. What's your date of birth?
6/25/68.
John, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. Bond on that warrant, of course. It's no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to change your date. They told you January 4th, but I'm going to have you back on December 26th. And the PDO comes to you before then, okay?
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Sure can.
I was wondering, I did all my drug test was clean, and I was wondering to see if I can get reinstated.
Well, that's not something, unfortunately, John, that I can do. This is first appearance, and I'm just a hard-working county court judge. They don't let me handle difficult cases like yours. So you have to go back to circuit court where the circuit judge will decide whether or not you're going to get reinstated, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, you bet. Richard Ryder? Morning, Richard. What's your date of birth?
11/22/1982.
Richard, this is probable cause arrest on 2 counts of violation of probation. There is probable cause for the VOPs. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Defender, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the PD. Obviously, it's going to be no bond on the VOPs. I will have you back on the 26th of December. It looks like they told you the 4th of January, but it'll be December 26th. PDO comes to you before that, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Alan Sykes. Or Mr. Sykes, what's your date of birth?
8/1/84.
This is a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'm an hired private counsel.
Very good. State what you tell me.
2009 grand theft and littering case, 2011 DUI, 2012 marijuana, Xanax, and paraphernalia, and a 2013 intro contraband.
And Mr. Sykes, I have an address for you on Utop Lane East in Inverness. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Past 10 years.
You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Sykes Tile Service.
You set your bond at $2,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Miss Branson. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I have a question. Can I go ahead?
Yep.
We have a child together, and I have custody of him. And what do I do about her trying to pick him up from school or something without?
Okay. Where is he now? I'm sure you don't have him with you.
Sir?
Where is the child now? You said you have custody, but obviously he's not with you now.
He's with my father.
Okay. Well, if she doesn't have any custody, then that is what it is, and that hasn't changed. So
Okay.
this doesn't change any of that. That's all circuit court stuff, and that has nothing to do with you picking up this criminal charge. So
Okay.
that's not an issue. I also have to hold you until 4 o'clock this afternoon, so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. I have you back in court on the 4th of January. Very important that you tell that date to the lawyer when you hire him, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Marcus Swims. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
9/14/67.
Marcus, the charge of battery also being domestic in nature, there's probable cause for the charge. As for that charge, you want to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
1987 burglary, 1998 marijuana, a 1990 marijuana and synthetic marijuana charge, a 2005 domestic violence charge, and a 2007 disorderly reduced from a domestic.
Marcus,
Those are out of state, by the way.
Okay. Marcus, I've got an address for you on Buena Vista Avenue in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
Over 10 years.
You have a job these days?
No, I'm on disability.
Okay.
And I take care of my mother that's 91.
Yeah, I know.
She's in a wheelchair.
Get you. And does Derek live at the same address?
He did. I haven't talked to anybody since I got in trouble.
Okay.
But he did live there.
How long recently has he been living there?
He's only been living there 3 months.
Okay.
He just got out of jail, and my mother let him live with us.
Okay. And he's your nephew, right?
Yes, sir.
Your mother's grandson. Is that right? I've got it right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. You set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Derek. Did you hear me explain that earlier?
Yes, sir.
And you understood that?
Not to have no contact with Derek at all.
Right. Okay. I also have to hold you till 4 o'clock this afternoon so that if you wanted to serve you with an injunction, we'd know where to find you. Now, here's the deal with Buena Vista. If Derek has gone someplace else, you, of course, can go back there. I'm only telling you not to have contact with Derek. If it turns out that Derek is still there, then you'd have to find someplace else to stay until he goes on his way or until this case is resolved. If that were the situation, then you'd have to contact the sheriff's office. They'd meet you there with a deputy who'd stand by while you collected your things and got going wherever you're going to go, all right?
Yes, sir.
I have you back in court on the 4th of January. When you get out, make sure you contact the public defender's office, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Austin Todd. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
9/24/97.
Austin, I have 3 charges. Today I have possession of hashish, possession of drug paraphernalia, driving on a suspended license. license, and it looks like you also currently have an open felony case, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On these charges, there is probable cause. Would you like the public defender on these charges?
Public defender, yes.
I'm going to appoint the public defender in these cases. I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000, $1,000, and $1,000 respectively. Let's see. I'm going to move these to the 11th of December, because that's where your other case is. So your cases will start tracking together. But then, unfortunately, job number one, when you have pending criminal charges, is don't pick up new criminal charges. It appears to me that you have. Therefore, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your bond at 17 CM 2743. We're going to hold you without bond at least until the 11th of December. When that case gets back to court, at that point, the judge on that case, looks like it's Judge Merritt, can revisit the bond in your felony case if he wishes. But you're going to be in jail at least until the 11th. PDO comes to you before then, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. And Jack Van Horn.
How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you today? All right. Jack, what's your date of birth?
11/10/1996, sir.
Jack, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Ruby. She found probable cause for 1 count of grand theft auto. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself and hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I would like a public defender, sir.
Good. I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
He had a pretty productive juvenile career with multiple burglaries, running from 2010 to 2014. In 2014, they started charging him as an adult. He was charged with sexual battery, which was pled down to ag assault, for which he was sentenced to 50 months Department of Corrections, plus a contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and then he also had a paraphernalia charge.
Jack, I've got an address for you on Ruth Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
How long you
And
been?
that sex charge was actually lower, sir. I never committed
That's
that
how
crime.
He said that. He said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of person.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir, I do. I'm working for this temp service from Terra that allowed me up at this company that we're building highway bridges. Right now we're working on Suncoast Parkway in Homosassa.
Okay.
I was under the impression of this entire case was dropped when I was before I was arrested. I was talking to the alleged victim of this case, which was my ex-roommate, and she was with my cousin, who is the first lien holder of the title of, my cousin owns the truck. I never stole the truck anyways, but, she said that she called me.
Jack, hang on a second. I don't want you to go anywhere that isn't helpful. The answer to all this is I'm holding a warrant signed by a judge here in Hernando County. That's the end of the story. So you gotta talk to the lawyer about it and find out what happened. I sure don't know. I'm just telling you what we got. I'm going to leave the bond for the warrant, which is $2,000. I'll have you back in court on the 4th of January. When you get out, contact the PD right away, and then you can talk to them about what happened here. Okay?
Yes, sir, I will. I have a video of her saying both my name and saying I never did it.
All right. Very good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Joe, you got anything else for me?